I made a promise to have a car done by a certain date for a gentleman named Mark. This guy is the salt of the earth.
I'm Mark Martinez. I founded and started Stiletto back in the day. I was able to take an idea and change the way that people looked at hammers in the framing industry or in general construction industry.
This is a super guy. He's a self-made guy. He's in the tool business, titanium tool business, but nobody handed him anything. He sweat for it.
And I had lost my brother a few years back, and it was just like losing a big piece of your life. I was digging through some old things and remembering. I started looking back at some old pictures, and I ran across my first car being a 1970 Roadrunner. And that car started becoming something that, especially with my brother passing, you know, all of a sudden it became a real big piece of me. Cut.
Do you need a minute?
Okay. And then one day, I turned the TV on and I catch this crazy show called Graveyard Carz. And it's about Mopar. So I start watching it and I'm going, wow, this is really interesting. I looked at it and said, you know, I wonder how I can get a hold of this guy to talk to him about building me a car.
I've got a project right now that's very important that we meet the deadline on. All of them are, but this one may be even more so because I've kind of made a mistake along the way. Not anybody's fault but my own.
So Mark and I, we struck a deal, and he said he'd have it ready in 2020.
I misread the contract. I did this a year ago. I didn't pay any attention to it. And instead of it needing to be done in January of 2021, I needed to have this 1970 Roadrunner done in time for the 2020 trade show down in Las Vegas for tools.
You must need something.
We have a vehicle that was supposed to be done by the 15th of next month. What that means is we've got 45 days to completely restore a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. This car is getting a 392 Hemi, a 6-speed Silver Sport transmission, a Dana 60 rear axle, it's EW1.
Oh,
I decided not to bring it back to its absolute original state of what I drove off the showroom floor. I knew that I needed a car that could be worked on any place that I'm at. And the only way you're going to do that is to put a modern drivetrain in it. So what I ended up deciding is to get a Crate 392 Hemi with a 6-speed manual transmission with the old pistol grip. It's going to be a brand new car underneath, but it's going to be exactly like the car that I drove off the showroom.
45 days basically is how long we have to completely restore a car. The good news is I was locating a car, acquiring it, and preparing it for dip. So here's where we're at. Car needs complete restoration, so first thing we gotta do, of course, is get it disassembled, get it off to the dipper, get it back, figure out what panels need to be replaced.
Does that still have like a 90-day wait time?
Not too bad. I already got a 392 Hemi from Mopar Performance set in here. I already have the Silver Sport transmission set in here, so those are good things. This is a really solid car.
Mark was able to find me a 1970 Roadrunner that was a one-owner, and it was beat up a little bit, but it was all original. When he showed me that car, I was blown away. It was gorgeous, but more important than that, it comes with the original key the car came with. He has the owner's manual and all the things that all the booklets the dealer gives you in the plastic bag that it came from the factory in the glove box. So you can't get any more nostalgic than that.
The only downside to doing it in 45 days is we have to do this kind of like in addition to what we normally do. So
What?
Point is, we got to do this in the evenings and on the weekends because we can't interfere. I know. We cannot interfere with the customer stuff that's already being done, that's been waiting for years. Well, you do shake your head, but maybe you should have put the quarter on right the first time. You can shake yours, but you know, the third paint job
I wasn't even shaking my head.
I think that the most challenging part of this entire build is going to be the fact that my team isn't going to be able to go home like they normally do. We have to work weekends and evenings to get the car done because we can't compromise the other cars that are in the queue getting done right now. We have promises and commitments on them too. So this is on me, this is my fault. Now, I don't mind paying the overtime, I don't mind paying what it takes to get it done, but they're going to have to share that yoke with me.
There's a tremendous amount of emotion that goes into a project like this if emotion is what drove you to do it. There's a big word that we use in our trade and in my production of my products, and that is game changer. And it's a game changer. It's a game changer. I think I will look through life through this car.
Granted, this is an incredibly short timeline, even shorter than the ones we've done for SEMA in the past, especially last year with Christine. This is a 70 Roadrunner. I can do these cars in my sleep.
Doing a build like this under such a time crunch is just, I don't know how we're even going to be able to do this. There are so many parts to these cars, it's incredible to keep track of them all. I don't know if we're going to be able to make this deadline or not.
So one of the nice things about the way we have the shop set up for an assembly line is different departments. So while we are working on a rear end over here, body work over here, mud over here, paint over here, Justin can start on the sub-assemblies for our 70 Roadrunner, right? As soon as that clock hits 5 o'clock, he can bring in the steering column, the seats, tear down all the sub-assemblies, the heater box. He can have all those pieces restored and ready to go in the car when it comes back over from paint. So that's what he's going to be working on.
So to take off the steering wheel from the 1970 Roadrunner steering column, you just use a pulley remover tool. You know, you slide the piece in there and it helps pull it off because they're kind of pressed on there. You can't really just yank it off. So one of the steps that I take after, removing the steering wheel, the 4 bolts on the bottom side of the steering column, just take off the mounting bracket, get that thing ready for sandblasting and paint. So this car was actually a column shift before, and it was getting converted over into a floor shift. So I was able to go upstairs and get some of Tony's steering column collars, and I was able to actually convert that over to a floor shift steering column. So this isn't a numbers matching car. We do like to keep things original to what the car was. We didn't have any problem switching this over from a column shift to a floor shift. The majority of the steering columns can actually get reused. Sometimes the plastic shrinks, cracks, but the customer really likes that steering wheel. It's sentimental to them. But most of the time, all the stuff in these steering columns, we can reuse them.
All right. Okay, you want to go back your guys' way, maybe? One of the people I'm calling in to help on this 70 Roadrunner is Ron Jenkins from Magnum Force. We've become friends over the years. I have him on speed dial for when I really got to get something done. Nice. Yeah. Why, Doug? Why, of all the things in the world, why? Look what I got to deal with.
So we've partnered up with Mark a few times in the past. We've done some pretty damn cool cars over the years. And I'm back again. Mark made the phone call. He knows he can rely on me. I'll be here in a heartbeat.
Well, the moral of the story is that with AMI, you're well armed.
I don't know what to do. The good news is I'm innocent. All right, so we're putting the TTI header and exhaust system on. We have some conversions that you make that need to be on there. So we got to get it up in the air, swap out the oil pan and the sump.
Yep.
We got to take that clutch off because Silver Sport supplied us with the transmission and clutch package. So we got to get this thing ready so we can put it on your suspension.
Right. Yeah, we'll get it inverted, get the pan off, get the modification done for the starter clearance. That's always good to get while everything's fresh. And yeah, we'll get it sitting on top of the K-member and good to go.
I can build the OEM cars all day long, and I'm fast at it, and I'm good at it, and I know what to do. But when it comes to the aftermarket performance stuff, he's so much better at it, and he builds so many of the parts that we're going to be putting on, like the Magnum Force suspension and stuff like that. This is Ron's wheelhouse. I'm going to let Ron be the captain of this ship, the skipper. I guess I'll be his first mate, Gilligan. Beautiful. Love it. It's a nice pallets they send these out in.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they ship these dry, so there shouldn't be any oil in it. And then we got to do the relocator, right?
Yeah, what we've been doing is we've been taking the clutch off, putting it on an engine stand, and we're flipping it over.
What would you like to do? You're the master technician.
Oh, I don't know.
I love this. My favorite part. Look at that power steering reservoir and pump. So is this higher volume than the factory one, or is it pretty much the same as the factory one? Do you know?
Volume-wise, it's a pressure issue.
It's the pressure. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get that in there on that logo?
Laser.
That's so cool.
There's so much.
Boy, that's just a nice looking setup. And you've got your lady is sending us a pulley.
Yeah, so we'll have a pulley that matches the Serpentine system on the motor.
And Ronnie makes these cool motor mounts that go on the 392s and the Hell Crate. I was asking him yesterday how he welds so nice. I can't do this. But this is a MIG weld. It's not a TIG weld. And it looks just like a TIG. It's so beautiful. Look at those. Looks like rolls of quarters laid on end. Just gorgeous. That's good quality stuff. Good stuff. That's why we call her Ron Meister. Okay, so right now they're going to take the oil pan off and the clutch, because we don't use that clutch. That clutch won't work with the Silver Sport transmission, so they provided us with one. Good day today.
I am so happy to be working with Ron again on this build because Ron has been so helpful to us in helping navigate us through his suspension and the buildup of the cars that we're doing.
Well, we try it. If it breaks them, we'll let Ron weld it. I like the sound of that.
Got it?
Okay. You're hired.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got the old bearing out. Now we'll have to replace it with the Silver Sport bearing that works with their transmission. We don't have to do that this minute. We have other conversion things. The point of all this is I want you to see how easy the conversions are if you have the right parts and you just take your time and do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and get that on there. You want this to drop down some?
Yeah, please.
So we're just bolting the engine stand up into place. You use the original mounting holes for the bell housing for that. You can see here, that's what Doug's doing. He's coming through this lower boss right here. Upper boss right up there. I like that they're Hemi orange.
I know.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
I know.
It's a nice throwback. Okay, so we got our Roadrunner back from the dipper. We have everything metal dipped here so it removes any bit of rust, anything that's in our way from us being able to do our body work on it. One of the things that we run into most frequently in restoring a car are the hidden sins that are underneath the paint. Does it have a lot of rot, a lot of rust? Does it have panels that need to be replaced that sure look good, but they were filled with Bondo? Then what about it being square and true? That's where I get out my tram gauge. Tram gauge is just a bar that's adjustable, that has a good memory because you lock it down. In the case of this car, it lined up better than I've had any cars do in all of my years.
I just got done installing the trunk floor. There's a number of things that can go wrong when you're gonna put a trunk floor in. I could have it a little bit too far forward, a little too far back, could be a little too far to the left, a little too far to the right. It went really smooth. I mean, I couldn't ask for an easier panel to go in. The front of the floor panel was a little bit rotted. We were able to do patches instead of having to install the whole entire floor, which would have took a lot more time. With this car being so clean, have to put the trunk floor in and the front floor section in, it makes it so much easier because it's nice and square. You pop out the old piece and you just slide the new piece in. I mean, yeah, I've got to do a little bit of plug welding here, a little bit of maintenance here, you know, to the panels that I had to remove panel from. But other than that, it's really easy, really simple. If this trunk gutter didn't have the original numbers, I wouldn't even worry about patching it. I would just cut it out, put a new one in. But because it has the original numbers, it's highly important just to patch it up, get it back to as strong as it once was. It turned out really good and I'm happy the way it went in. Even as clean as this car is, I sure feel all the pressure coming down on my neck because we're at the very beginning of this process and everybody's hungry to get this car. So I'm trying to go as fast as I possibly can and make sure that I don't make a mistake. So making sure that frame rail is right where it needs to be is so important. I mean, that lines up your whole entire front cowl, that lines up your fenders. I mean, it all just kind of builds up to something. And the front frame rail, that holds your motor in place. I mean, if it takes a shot in the front, that's what stops a good percentage of that shot of the other car coming at you. I mean, there's so many different things that it does. I mean, it holds the body up, you're hooking the wheels up to it. I mean, so that frame rail's gotta be on the money. When you heat up the metal, it makes the metal softer so you can make it do what you want. So I moved it right back into where it should have been in space and then cooled it down so it's nice and hard. All in all on this car, there really wasn't a ton of bodywork to be done. It's such a clean car and it's such a nice feeling to have a car come into my area that is only there for a week. That is such a great feeling to be able to just turn a car in and out as quick as I got it.
My name is Jeff Kaufman. I work with Silver Sport Transmissions. We're a Tremec Elite distributor. I've been selling Tremec for 12 years myself. So this is our fourth year partnering with Mark on some builds. So we started off with the Cuda, then we went to the Hellbird, Christine, and now we're doing this Roadrunner. So it's a pretty cool deal. We ran into Mark at SEMA, and we talked about this Roadrunner coming up. I told him I'd like to be part of the project. So here I am out here helping with the install. To the engine, you'll start with a pilot bearing. Pilot bearing goes in the crank. You then bolt up the flywheel. When you bolt the flywheel up, you typically want to leave 1 or 2 bolts out so you can get the magnetic base dial indicator in there to check the bell housing runout. So once you check the runout, you can finish installing the flywheel, torque everything down properly, move on to the pressure plate. It's very important when you install the pressure plate to tighten the bolts a little bit at a time in a circular pattern. You want to gradually pull the pressure plate down to the flywheel, not all at once. You don't want to tighten each bolt all the way, all at once, then move to the next. Then you move to your bell housing, transmission, make sure your hydraulic bearing is in place, check your hydraulic bearing spacing. So once you have the hydraulic bearing spacing and the runout done, everything else just kind of bolts together. One of the things about this kit in general are these end caps. So to do the 6-speed in the B body and E body, you do have to cut the torsion bar cross member. When you do that, it leaves the channel open, and you also lose the inner cross member bolt positions. So these caps, what these caps do, once you cut that, these will weld in place to cap that off. Then you have these supports for the inner bolt positions. These allow you to tighten up the cross member bolts on that channel and not crush the channel. This is a small piece, but it's very important to have that not everybody's going to have in the package.
Because the car is going Alpine white, it's a solid color. We can panel paint the whole thing. It's very easy, nothing hard to do whatsoever. So we do save a lot of time, the fact that it is just white. If it was a metallic, then we're painting the car as one because the metallic has to match. You can get away with panel painting the car, meaning do it in different stages, paint a door and a fender here, paint something else here. So it's a very easy color, and that does save quite a bit of time for us. I do have to do a black stripe on the car, but I can't do that until the car is assembled, meaning doors, fenders, hood. Once we've made sure that that looks perfect, Mark signed off on the gaps, we'll roll the car back over, I'll mask off the hood and cowl, and then do the stripe on it. And it's a flat black, so it'll break up the white nice.
So our 70 Roadrunner, we're doing very well on it. This car's already been out, been disassembled, dipped, came back. We replaced the minimal amount of metal on the car. So all the paint work is done. The sub-assemblies that are going into the car are done. The engine, the transmission are all built out and ready to go into the car. So we're actually, in the calendar of things, I would guess that we're maybe 2 days ahead of where we'd like to be, which is great. We actually are outside shooting right now because we have no power. So I called the utility board and I said, why don't we have any power? I'm pretty sure I paid the bill. They lost a transformer. That's what I was told. So right now, my entire block, all of Catherine Avenue, all the way down to Weyerhaeuser, all the way down to 35th Street has no power. So I don't want to send the guys home, and I also can't leave them inside the shop because it's not very safe if you can't see what you're doing. I'm paying everybody $20, $25 an hour to walk around and move stuff, clean stuff up, stay busy while we're hoping the power comes on. The utility board said, I can't promise you when the power comes on. It may never come on. I have Ron, who just came up from Las Vegas, from Magnum Force, to save our ass again, as he's had to do many times. But right now, he's out back sweeping. If that isn't enough, which is a full plate for anybody, anytime. We're still making a television show. We're mid-season on Graveyard Carz, and so what that means is every week I have to turn in a completed episode so you can watch it the following week. Aaron, the executive producer upstairs, who you've all met because he loves the camera, called me, rightfully so. We have no power. How's he gonna upload an episode of Graveyard Carz that takes hours to upload in a room with no power? So I've given him the blessing to go across town to his friend's place who has high-speed internet and has power, and upload that complete episode. If it's not enough about the cars, it's not enough about the power, it's not enough about the 45-day calendar, then you can just add in the fact that this is what you get for being Mark Worman and starting a television show at the same time. The clock is ticking by, and my promise to the guy is clicking by. I don't see how we're gonna be able to finish everything like it needs to be done in time for him to get to the convention. But I'm pulling up my boot heels and I'm doing the best that we can. And I figure if we're 3 or 4 days late, he'll at least know we tried. And he's a good-hearted guy. Mr. Martinez has wanted this car his entire life, and now this is his opportunity. And so he'll have plenty of other times to enjoy it. I'm not dismissing the fact that we're probably going to miss our mark. That's wrong, and it's not right. And we're behind on everybody's car. It doesn't make it right. I'm just hopeful that we can get the car done close after the deadline in time for him to still not have a sour taste in his mouth and be able to enjoy the car and not have bad memories around it. Because Graveyard Dreams is about creating good memories, not manufacturing all new bad memories. So here we are, we're behind, but we're gonna do our best to get to the finish line. So right now, Doug and Justin are getting ready to put the wiring harness on the 392. Now this is the Mopar Performance Controller. I wanted to take the opportunity to show how easy this is. It comes with a complete set of instructions, but on top of that, every wire lead that goes onto the engine is marked. You can't make a mistake on it. The wiring harnesses have these little stabilizer pins in them. It's good to put those in first. See, and that helps stabilize that so you're not fighting it all the time. That again, that helps with holding that thing in place. These are a real nice plug and play. So the next thing he's going to do after that is going to do the oil pressure switch. You see this sending unit for the oil pressure? This is a factory Mopar one that you would see on our 70 CUDA, because we want to be able to run the original gauges in the car, the original rally cluster in this Roadrunner. We want to have the tachometer, we want to have oil pressure. We can't use the signals coming off of the wiring harness that came for the Mopar Performance. So what we've done is tapped into it, teed off of the original oil pressure galley, came up here with our own setup so we could run this and this together. We'll be putting an original factory wiring harness onto this. Same thing for the water temperature. You'll see it over here. We've tapped into it, so the engine still has all the signals it needs to run the ECM, and we also have our access to be able to run our gauges.
Okay, so we're putting the disc brakes on the Dana 60 for the 70 Roadrunner. And why a Dana and not an 8 3/4? Well, strength, bottom line. It's just that simple. It's got a bigger ring gear, it's got more tooth contact, it's got a bigger pinion shaft, bigger axles, bigger, and we like bigger. So Moser put together this Dana for us, and they took care of some of the things like the drum register matching the disc brakes that we're putting on it, the slightly longer wheel studs as well. That's going to help. As far as the thicker backing plates go, we've already got the non-adjustable bearings on there. Access hole makes it real easy to tighten up the bolts on the housing end. Let's get it put together. So the snap ring is what's going to hold the whole axle into the rear end itself. This backing plate is going to cinch up against that and push the whole assembly in there as well. In addition to that, once it's all put together, we're going to have this little bracket inside there as well, which is going to serve as another means of retention, so that it's not completely reliant on the snap ring itself, but also on this plate to hold everything in.
They're going to put the TTI headers on it. So these are a specific header made by TTI that are designed to go on the 392 as well as play well with Ron's Magnum Force suspension.
And we should be able to drop the header right in over that bolt?
Yep. So the way these headers are made, you look at the bottom of the header, you'll see this locator notch. Because of that, you're allowed to put one cylinder head bolt in, and then with it in place, you can come in, drop that down on that head bolt, and that will hold it in place while you feed the rest of the exhaust manifold bolts in. Okay, so with that, they'll just finish tightening those headers down. Once the headers are tightened down, we'll put the belt on here. That'll be the last thing we have to do. Good job, guys. That looks really good.
So on the two axles here, you can see the difference between the 8 3/4 and the Dana 60. The 8 3/4 has 30 splines, the Dana 60 has 35 splines. And as you can see, the length of the axle, it stays substantially stronger the whole length of the axle. Okay, so now that we got that little guy in there, got to get the plate.
Okay, so here's the belt. I think all we have left right now is just putting the belt on. This is kind of cool, actually. So check out this routing of the belt. Nice and easy. Don't get crazy. You're crazy. Okay. All right, he's got it around the alternator. Okay, this is the alternator. This is an idler pulley. It goes under the idler pulley, goes over the water pump, over the power steering pump, over the outside of the AC compressor, across the outside of the harmonic balancer. Then it weaves back up through this, which is the tensioner. It's spring-loaded, so he's bringing it over there. I put the belt on the pulley where it belongs, and you see all this stuff tighten up?
Lined up in the grooves?
So this is your tensioner, whereas in the old days, you had to grab the alternator and you would pull it towards you and tighten it down. These days, this is all preloaded all the time, so the more this belt stretches, this will keep going to a certain point and keep tension on it until that belt is just shot. So that's kind of a cool setup. We got a pistol grip shifter. You got to check this bad boy out. So when you're talking to like Silver Sport, you're ordering your stuff, if you've got a B-body from the factory, the shift tunnel is off to the left-hand side on all B-bodies and on E-bodies. They have this transmission specifically to be able to go into an E-body. To go into a B-body, though, they're making that jog over where that hump would be out of the shifter. So the shifter, if you look right there, is actually a console style shifter. In this case, we're not running a console, but it comes up, jogs over to where it's supposed to be the original opening position, so it feels right to the driver. Then this is just a bolt-on style, which they went to in 71 on up on the shifters, instead of the wedge they used in 70. Whether or not this can stay in the car when we actually put the drivetrain in, won't know until we try to do it. So there it is, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. That's about as close as anything's ever gonna be, because if you take those other cars, if you get in a 1970 B-body with a pistol grip shifter, first gear is out over the hood ornament, second gear is in the trunk, third gear, the guy going past you in the passenger's lane grabs it and puts it in third, and then whoever's in the back seat grabs fourth. It's that long. I'm embellishing a little bit, not much. And then check it out on the top, and that is cool. That is the same exact lens, shape, and style, except instead of a 4-speed, it's a 6-speed. Pretty cool. I smell a Dana rear end in my future. We are day 38 of our Roadrunner build. That means from the time we started the project to today is 38 days.
We like to leave them a little bit loose so we can
Pretty good.
At this point, we got every single part here. We got the car painted. We have it all. We have the ability now to get this thing across the line. I think we're gonna do it.
It's good. That undercoating has not dried at all.
While I look a little calmer now than I did earlier, we're still under a lot of stress. And one of the things that really hurt us by our power outage was the ability to continue the productivity on our Roadrunner. Will has literally just undercoated the car, so everything under there is wet. So the guys are gonna have to be careful. But yeah, it's gonna be a little cumbersome, and it's gonna be a little bit dirty, but it's gotta be done to get the car done in time.
It's a little slimy.
Oh, man.
Smart man with the gloves.
How are we gonna get up there?
I know.
Need to take a 1/4 inch off the washer. Okay, sweet.
Yeah. We got our Mosier axle in. It's a Dana 60 replica of the original. 354 gears, just in case somebody's wondering.
Very middle or
just on the face of it. So it's like the old credit card commercial, right? It's a little bit like that. I feel the same way. We're all spent out of our minds on caffeine. We've got a car that has 7 days to be completely finished. We have a $20,000 drivetrain going in a $100,000 plus car. We all have to get it done in the next 7 days, and it's 3 in the morning, and we're marrying it all together. Priceless. Let me check the side profile. I would say probably an inch forward, maybe.
Just on that side?
Evenly forward.
Ron, going a little bit more with that. There you go.
As you can imagine, I was trying not to.
But it's great that the guy that made this stuff's here to put it together. That way, if there's any problems, it's his problem. I'm the good guy.
Okay, we gotta go back 2 inches.
Okay, I'm almost perfect.
A little bit more backwards.
Oh, we can't. We're up against the firewall with the wire inverted.
Ah, there we go. I think we just got it, man. Boy, I've had my share of Roadrunners. I've had 68s, 69s, 70s. I love the 70. I mean, it's going to be a gorgeous car. I mean, Chrysler in 1970 was really, they were rocking. I mean, we've got some beautiful cars from 1970.
So we did really well on installing the drivetrain in the car. We have no chips, no bumps, no bruises. That's great. They're in a position where they can hook up all of the peripheral things that are going to allow us to finish the car. Upper and lower ball joints can get fixed into place. Shocks and shock hardware for the front can get mounted. We can attach the drive shaft to the Mosier Dana rear axle assembly. Install the Krager wheels with the BF Goodrich tires. And now we're ready to lower it down and roll it ahead for the first time.
Ooh, that's looking pretty, huh?
These things are so light, it could be a one-person job, but 2 hands always keep paint from getting scratched. All right, so we're getting pretty close now to tackling some of the smaller projects that have to be done as well. We're gonna need to get the steering column installed, get it cut to fit, the U-joint on it. That should go without a hitch. One of the issues we still have to deal with is wiring. So most of the harness is on the motor already, but we still got to route it through the car and make some of our attachments. We need to punch a hole through the firewall, get the computer inside. We still got a few things to do and very little time to do it.
We are down to the nitty-gritty with our deadline for our 1970 Roadrunner, and people have lost their damn minds.
Everybody's circling this car, trying to put something on. You got people out here buffing the car, so you're trying to work around the person trying to get the paint stuff finished.
There wasn't even time to cut and buff this car right when I was done. We literally finished spraying it middle of the night, baked it, next morning rolled it over for assembly, and then as they're assembling it, I have Noah coming over and actually doing all the cut and buff work around the assembly. So it's kind of all hands on deck and just trying to work around each other to get the car done.
We got Larry putting on the headliner, we got someone buffing, someone taking stuff off, someone putting stuff on. It's insane. And this is why I've kind of stepped back and I'm not a part of it. Because it's crazy. We don't need any more hands on it, but I mean, I think we're gonna get it done. We should.
Normally we send the dash assembly to Instrument Specialties. They completely restore them. They're beautiful. They're like a work of art when they come back, and we've done them for years with them. But they can't possibly turn this thing around in the time that we need. So we decided that we're just going to do it ourselves. Some of the things that we'd normally replate, we're just going to buy new versions of it. So we are going to restore the dash assembly here in-house. It'll look great. It'll be exactly the same thing that we would have done if we had sent it out. We're just going to be doing it in considerably less amount of time.
You can't screw up spraying lacquer, so whether I do it or Mark does it, it's going to come out the same. I just had to help him on the ratios.
As you might imagine, no one makes preconceived hoses for a 1970 Roadrunner with a brand new Mopar crate engine 392. So we've had to get a little improvisational at this point, shall we say. A little bit of MacGyverism might be appropriate here. So we're going to make a multitude of cuts and angles here to try to establish connecting point A to point B, upper and lower hoses. Got quite a distance to traverse here, and when all's said and done, I think we're going to have a pretty good prototype to work from.
We got some little metal couplers we're going to put in between them. Little hose adapters. We're going to have to cut these down, Ron. I think they're a little long for what we're doing now.
They might be. It couldn't hurt to use them, though. I mean, if they slide in there easily. Oh, yeah, that upper one, you'll definitely have to cut that one.
This is MacGyverism.
So in less than 45 days, we've disassembled the car completely, inventoried all of its parts, ordered all of its new parts, sent it out and had it dipped, brought it back, did the metal replacement on it, sent it over to the mudroom, had it smoothed out, sent it over to Will, had it completely painted. Meanwhile, we built out the 392 crate engine, the 6-speed Silver Sport transmission, the Mosier Dana rear axle assembly, all of these components, and the Magnum Force front end. All of this has been done in this period of time. We're rapidly putting the car together. We've even lived through a power blackout. Justin can start putting the trim, exterior ornamentation, the decals, taillights, bumpers, all the pieces on the outside of the car.
So what I got right here is our cold air intake for our 392 Hemi. Probably what they would use on a 2019 Challenger or Charger. So we have to actually trim down the actual tubing itself. It has a right angle that comes off this side and another right angle that comes out. I just measured where I needed, cut it, get these fit on there for our 1970 Roadrunner. So you want to make sure that you actually measure the length that you need under your hood, you know, clear the fender aprons, clear the radiator. Other than the cutting and measuring, this is super easy to go in. It just takes a bunch of hose clamps and it's pretty much smooth sailing from there. That's on there good. It doesn't need a bracket.
Now this car's not going back to factory, but he does want the factory stripe on the hood. So as soon as the guys got to a point where they're done working for the day, I come back to work, take the car in the booth, get all my measurements, lay the stripe out, so when they come in the next morning, they don't lose any time doing assembly because I did it while they were at home.
So we just finished putting the front bumper on our Roadrunner. We're getting ready to install the rear bumper. Everything's going really well on it. Team's pulled together nicely. Now the deck lid on the Roadrunner also gets a decal, so I'm going to put that on next, and then I'll grab Justin to install the bumper. So you just want to make sure that everywhere that decal is going to touch, that there's something to keep it from sticking right away. That's the whole point of it, is you got to have time to move that decal around. Now, if you guys recall back to when Alyssa and Will were doing the decal on the 1971 Cuda. They got the backing paper wet and it ruined it. You can't get the backing paper wet. It has a protective film over the outside of it so you don't damage the decal when you're squeegeeing on it. And then it has another protective film on the bottom side that protects the adhesive side, the glue side of the decal. What you see right there is not black, it's silver, because it's a reflective decal. That's what's really cool about it. When we're all done, I'll be able to shut the lights out, hit that with a flashlight, and that thing glows in the dark. You want to make sure when you take this backing paper off that you don't leave any letters stuck to the backing paper. Very carefully turn your hand over. You don't want it to fall onto itself and get stuck. This is probably the most difficult part right here. Once you have that, figure out which hand holds what, and now I can go ahead and get it set on there for just a rough out. So I can see right now that I'm way too far that way. I know that I need to line this up right here and overhang it 1/4 inch. This goes up, this goes up. There's my 1/4 inch overhang. So if you look carefully right here, the lid goes like this and then down. What I've done is I've lined up this backing paper exactly in line with the top edge of that. And it really, I love these decals. Like I say, they're reflective, so they look cool at night, but just getting some contrast on the car right off the bat, that's a great way to do it. And this car's coded for it. Even though we modified the car from the fender tag and put a 392 in it, it still has some pretty neat options, and this is one of them. You can't put the interior together yet until the headliner and the vinyl top are installed. Now, I have to pick up the phone and call Larry, our buddy at Larry's Interiors, and beg him to drop everything he's doing and come over and install that vinyl top in the car. Because again, they have to go in before we can start putting anything on the interior. And while he's here doing it, if I can get him here tomorrow, we can't do anything else on the car while he's working on it.
I'm just getting the vinyl top trim moldings marked out in place so I can get the holes drilled. I got to drill out the holes because it takes this little garnish molding on the outside. It's a factory piece. This car actually didn't have that, and the customer opted for vinyl top on his car. So when you're doing something like this and drilling holes on 1/4 of a car, the stakes can be pretty high because there's not really much room for error. So if you drill the hole in the wrong spot, too high, too low, then that spot actually has to be ground down, filled in. So this process right here always makes me nervous. This is about the second time I've done it. Make sure you got a nice sharp drill bit. You don't want an oblong hole, and make sure your drill isn't wobbly. So the next part of the process is I'm gonna peel all the tape off, just clean up the surface, and just get everything laid out and ready for Larry to come and put the top on.
I'm Larry's Interior, and I do upholstery, and I've been doing upholstery here for at least 7 years or longer. I like doing original work, so I always hit for the original work because I just love it. And I like the Mopars, and so that's what I do for a living, and I'm training my son and hoping he can take it over and keep going. We didn't know it needed the vinyl top until yesterday, and so Mark got it here, and then we're doing it today, and then you guys are free to get the car done for the customer. On some of the vinyl tops, they're hard, they don't have no stretch. And sometimes you gotta, when it comes down like this and comes around in the back, you really gotta watch what you're doing to pull that down and get all that out. You know, so that's the challenge on some of them cars. This one was pretty good. It takes us about 2.5 days to do the seats, and then it takes me about 5, 6 to 8 hours to do a top. Depends on the top now. And do the headliner, it's about 6 hours, somewhere in there. I've got used to Mopar, so actually I like them. You know, I'm just used to them. I know where the stuff goes and where I cut it, and I can just come in and do it. Mark don't have to mess with me at all.
We've been working some really long hours on this car, and after hours and weekends, and you know, we have really pushed through this car, and I hope it's good enough for Mr. Martinez.
Every detail was finished, and from what I can tell, to perfection. The real final detail is him coming in and his response to it. And that's why we're all walking around a little bit on pins and needles. There's the man of the hour right there.
Hey.
Mr. Marcus Martinez, how are you, brother?
Well, came to get my car. It's so emotional, I really can't even describe it to you. You know, this is this is definitely a full circle kind of thing in my life. You know?
So you pretty excited?
Are you kidding me?
How long you been waiting to see your baby now?
Since 1973, when I traded it in, and I haven't been able to sleep the last few nights, but I wish that everybody had the experience to work with a complex project like this and watch a true professional do his craft. I don't think I can isolate on any one particular thing that's really gonna drive me on this thing. As the memories come back to me, there's just gonna be such an overwhelming, it's gonna be a very overwhelming experience. It just says an awful lot about leadership.
Good.
You know, and
just talking about leadership.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, let's see the car.
He does not strike me as the kind of guy that's gonna water anything down. If there's something that's not right, he's gonna hit me between the eyes with it.
All right.
You ready to go see a car? Let's go out and take a look at a car, buddy. All right, here we go, into the fray. This whole build is full of firsts. Building a car in 45 days, that's a first. So we got her all covered up.
Wow.
The cover that you see right now is tailor-made specifically to your car. The thing that makes this a first is he did not want to see any progress pictures.
I'm dying to see this car. You're talking 50 plus years, comes down to this moment.
Okay, so here comes a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner in Alpine white. When he looks at the car today, is it the right white that he was remembering from 55 years ago? I know I painted EW1, which is the only white that was available. Maybe somebody painted his car back in the day. I don't know. With a V21 hood sport treatment, V1X black top with black interior. He hasn't seen the vinyl top in person. He hasn't seen the interior in person. He hasn't seen anything, either in person or in a photograph, I should say. Everybody's very nervous. What can a guy say about that?
So the reaction on Martinez's face was priceless. When we uncovered that car, you just looked over and you saw the reaction on his face. He was blown away.
It's meant to be that. It's meant to be that.
It's way more.
If it takes your breath away, that's what it's meant to do.
Holy crap. That thing
is that just stunning?
Oh my God.
Pictures don't even begin to tell the story of that car.
That is just pure art.
So what you'll see is that the paintwork is a PPG concept single stage paint.
Can I touch it?
You can. You'll be touching it a lot in the future, absolutely. The hood blackout is based on the original hood sport treatment that your car had. You had photos of your car. I used that to rebuild this car.
Oh.
Black vinyl top. Your car was air conditioning. This one is air conditioning, so it has tinted glass. It's brand new replica glass from ECS Automotive, and it's date coded. Your car did not have the dust trail stripe down the side. It just had the running bird, so they are in place. Your car, you wanted Kragers on because that's what you put on after the fact, right? So there are your Krager 5-spoke. They are a 15.8 in the back and a 15.7 in the front with BF Goodrich TA radials.
Wow.
It's a lot to take in. I just blabber, so don't worry about me.
This thing is just so...
It sits there like a piece of jewelry, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. I love them.
I'm going to move that into the living room.
Wow. It'll be a great showpiece for your heart, but also for your business when you do go to the trade shows and you want to flex a little muscle. That will be a car that you will not see another one like it anywhere ever.
Wow.
And that's because of one thing. Graveyard Cars did it, and we do it to the best ability we have. It may not be perfect, but it's as good as we can make it.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
When I approached you about a white one, I mean, because everybody's going, why
I wasn't a fan.
Nobody was a fan.
I wasn't
and
a fan.
I go, you know what? I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing this for me, you know?
And the only reason I became a fan of the white was when you told me the story about you and your brother and growing up in it, those 2 years you had the car and the pictures you had. And those are the things that I want to try to do that for people because I would like it done for me, to do unto others. Absolutely. If I could find my old burnt orange Charger, which I can't, I'm afraid the old girl's gone. Yeah. But one day I'll treat myself to a replica of it, and I'll cry just like you, and I'll feel all those emotions, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of time for all the other stuff.
These are tears of just pure joy and pure memory, pure...
Wait till you're just buzzing it down the road, listening to the same old songs that you and your brother listen to.
Led Zeppelin on the 8-track.
Yeah, Stairway to Heaven.
Whole lot of love.
Well, speaking of a whole lot of love, would you like to see a whole lot of 392 Hemi under the hood? This is the 2019 Mopar Performance crate engine. It's 392 cubic inch, exact same one you would get if you bought a new Challenger.
Okay.
Puts out 475 horsepower. In 1970, a 426 Hemi, which you didn't have, only put out 425.
Wow.
And this is a small block. As you look around, you'll see a lot of original stuff though. So if you look here.
I remember this.
Yep, that's the original purple beep horn, original power brake booster and master cylinder, and original lines, but after that, it all becomes four-wheel disc brakes for you. So when you pop that hood, we try to keep as much organic, original stuff under here as possible.
Oh, it really shows, Mark.
Northern radiator, custom built this radiator for us so that it would stay, this engine would stay cool. So we ran this the other day for half an hour and it never got over 190 degrees, just enough to open the thermostat.
Cool.
We have a hood insulation pad factory. The other things you'll notice in here, we replaced all the original information labels, and you can see right there, I've got my date. This is the delivery. Over here is the original fender tag. As we know, this is an original Roadrunner, and it was a different color than this, but this is the original tag.
Awesome.
A replica from ECS of the original idling instructions, idle fuel air mixture instructions. Making the air conditioning system was always tricky. We end up making our own hoses in a lot of cases.
It's okay.
Because originally this is a big old V8 in there. It had this great big compressor on the top. Well, now with this engine, the compressor is just a small aluminum one that mounts way down here.
Holy moly.
So all that plumbing over there is for your air conditioning, and that is your ECM. So your fuse panel for your controller for the engine is easy access under the hood, just like
So that's the computer?
That's the yeah, the computer's back there, and the control panel for it's right there. So if you blow a fuse, it's right there.
This is just art. I mean, I collect art too.
Oh, good.
You know, so.
Good. Can you take Dougie with you? Because we've always kind of considered him a form of art.
Yeah.
So we know that your car originally started life with a 383.
Right.
And this has got the 392 in it.
Right.
That was long before they thought of the 392 crate engine. So in your car, you told me you had turn signal indicators in the back of the hood.
Right.
And of course, if it was a 383, then right here in the back, it would say 383.
Yeah. Right.
So take a look at what we did for you here. I reached out to our friends down at Phoenix Graphics, and they made us a three-dimensional graphic that calls out 392 Hemi. And
that is just
only one in the world like it. And you've got your turn signal indicators in there still too.
Wow.
That is so now when you're driving, that's what you get to see.
holy moly. I'm so humbled.
It's a good thing.
Oh man.
I love it.
Yeah.
So on the trunk, it's detailed out just like an original trunk would be. Now you've got Krager wheels on the car, that's by choice, but you also had us build you a set of the replica 15.7 rally rims with beauty rings and center caps.
Right.
If you had that, then the spare would be painted black and it would be a Goodyear Polyglass spare.
Right.
That's what you're gonna see. So that's your Goodyear Polyglass replica spare, brand new jack base and jack hook from Tony's Mopar Parts. Now with this engine, we could not keep the battery up here like you would in a normal car. So the old drag racers, you probably remember, would relocate them to the trunk. We did the same thing.
Okay.
Original jacking instructions.
Wow.
Mopar painted the inside of their trunk's body color, unlike everybody else.
Right.
Brand X,
I
their
remember
garbage
that.
job. So everything in this trunk is exactly the way it started life
It brings
in
back-
1970.
I used to load this thing full of construction cords. My
big
nail
trunk.
bags would be here, and I would have a 50-pound box of nails, and I would have my skill saw sitting right there.
People at home saying, what? You put tools in there? Back then, it was a $3,000 car, and it was your main mode of transportation. It wasn't a showpiece. It was a daily driver. We just have a hard time conceiving that. This is a Phoenix Graphics stripe. It is the correct replica of the original one.
Yeah.
And what you'll see is it's reflective.
Yeah.
Yep. So when those lights hit that, it's reflective.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
The exhaust system is TTI headers into 3-inch collectors. They provided the entire exhaust system right up to the exhaust tips. I had to get those from a different source. We actually got them from Classic Industries. And we cut their original turn-down tips on and put those on because your car had bright exhaust tips on it. It would have been standard equipment on the Roadrunner.
Right. God, this is just bringing back so many memories, man. I mean, I feel as giddy as walking into that dealership and being able to drive this car.
We all had that feeling when we got our first car.
Yeah.
It was, oh God.
It's a giddy feeling. I mean, I didn't even know what to do. I was like a dog chasing his tail. You know, I just, you know, didn't know what to do.
There's the ignition key. How about you have a seat down in there and we'll talk about the interior.
Wow.
He is overwhelmed. From what I can tell, like I said, he don't pull punches. He is excited. He is in love. A couple things before I let you sit down. This is a replica, again, from ECS Automotive of the original VIN for the door.
Wow.
Only one company in the world reproduces them, and we get them from them. You have an original over here, tire pressure warning label. Everything is meant to be the way it was in 1970. This is a replica of the original paper mat that you would have got the day you went into your dealership.
Are you serious?
I'm going to unroll it a little so it'll actually lay out. Yeah. Again, ECS is making these. So now you have that. I did a pedal dress-up kit, so you have the bezels, a little chrome around the bezels and the parking brake. But also, I didn't remember if you had the wood grain, but we gave you the wood grain wheel. Classic Industries makes a beautiful replica.
I didn't have.
You had the black plastic.
I had the black, but I like that one way more than that.
This is why we do what we do. This is why I'm involved here at Graveyard Cars. This is what matters to me. It was awesome.
So have a seat, my friend. Take a look at the gauges. I'll turn the park lights on so you can actually see the gauges. There you go.
Oh, wow. More.
So here you have your tick-tock tachometer. We did a quartz conversion in it, so it'll actually work like it's supposed to. We had our friends at Instrument Specialties actually modify it so that this would play well with the engine, and it does. Your tach works. You have all of your full gauges, AM, FM radio, all the air conditioning buttons at the top. You have your meep horn. Now, you stay right there because there's something I want to show you. Marcus, if you don't mind, I want you to look at this right here. It's okay, man. He's always with you, brother. Always. And that's what it's all about.
I just wish he was here.
It's all good, man.
Thank you, Bart.
So he's always riding around with you. Make sure he doesn't get you in any more trouble than he did back in the day, okay?
You did too.
I know, you told me some of those stories.
Oh, man. Yeah, he was...
As we get older, and I've noticed it with me, my mom passed away a couple years ago here. You know, we spend the first half of our lives trying to get away from home. And I think we spend the second half of our lives trying to get back. So yeah, that was just something I felt like he needs to be shotgun with you at all times. You told me you called him Ed?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, so I think at the end of the day, we've been able to
yeah, I would say that this went way past.
You're a good guy.
This went way past. You know, and the thing is you're an amazing man with what you do. You literally, you just bring dreams to fruition in a way that is just overwhelming. It's just overwhelming. I'm humble. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
But
your reaction is all the thanks I need. And you know, one thing is to do a car right. That's what we get paid to do. Yeah. But I think if you can just help that person get some of those memories, keep them alive or get them back, then what a victory for all of us, right?
That's what it all comes down to.
That's all we have at the end.
That's it. Yeah,
the greatest gift in the world to me is memories.
Yeah, the thing is, without them, why are you here?
Yeah, why are you
here?
Why are you bothering if you're not making something real?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be forever in your debt, Mark. Yeah. Forever in your debt.
But my intention is to have Mark ride with Alyssa. Alyssa's the new QC manager. That means she is now in the crosshairs, where old Mark Warman used to be.
Oh, this thing is insane. I mean, insane.
I can tell. You didn't want a Prius?
No, a Volt.
Yeah, oh yeah. So you're a little shook. Whoa.
I'm figuring out how I'm going to learn how to drive the damn thing. You know what I mean? But this thing is not made for around town driving. It runs that strong. It runs very strong.
Talk about adrenaline the whole time you're driving in this car, though.
Oh.
Right? Like,
hello.
You just tell there's so much power.
I seriously thought I was on the start line of the Daytona 500. It had a feeling of intimidation and just extreme power.
Woohoo!
Oh my God. Oh my God.
How's that?
That is pretty damn crazy.
So compared to the original engine that was in it.
No comparison.
No.
No comparison.
So you didn't expect this?
No. No, this is way the hell over the top. I mean, holy moly. You know, I was able to put my foot a little bit in it, but it pinned me so hard to the seat that I just backed right back out of it. It's a machine. It's nothing I'll let anybody drive, I'll tell you that. You know, it's insane.
It's fast, huh?
Pretty crazy.
You can tell it just wants to go.
That's all it wants to do.
Yeah. The shoulder strap wasn't a bad idea. Woo! That is so cool. You don't get that in another car. You don't get that.
No.
That pull, as soon as you feel that pull back, it's like the butterfly. It's like, woo, okay.
Yeah. This is cool, girl. This is cool. Your pops is the
He's okay sometimes, I guess.
Hello ghouls, Mark Warman here, the Ice Tray from Graveyard Cars. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. We have fantastic stuff coming up, and some of it you've never seen before. I gotta go insult people. Hey Alice!